What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for Married to Medicine Season 2, Episode 6. So, Britton, Dr. Britton, Dr. Contessa, and Dr. Imani are still in New Orleans for Xavier's homecoming. And they are having a great time, honey. They even got Dr. Imani in a wig. She looks absolutely gorgeous with the wig on. But like Dr. Britton said, with or without hair, honey, she is still gorgeous. We see that Dr. Kendra is still struggling with weight loss, and as my niece wanted to know, why in the world would she have asked Jasmine, the most extreme person on the show, to help her lose weight? But you know, a lot of times you look at the body and you're like, girl, I just want to look like you, not realizing how obsessive Jasmine is. We're gonna get to that later on. So, um, let's talk about New Orleans, okay? New Orleans, the ladies, they're going on a symposium. They're on a panel, and I think, what was it called? From white coat, from med to white coat. What was it called? From Xavier to white coat. Anyway, it was a cute title, and they were talking to pre-med students, and they were talking about their journey, what made them want to be doctors, and just the lack of black doctors that are out there. And so it was a great conversation. And then they had the parade where they were the grand marshals of the parade. And anybody who's ever done homecoming, y'all know what it's about. Like a black, especially a HBCU homecoming. Y'all know what it's about. You got the homecoming parade, you got the tailgating, you have everybody out there. We saw Contessa and Britton. They were doing they was hanging out with all their sorors and everything. And Contessa even ran into an ex-boyfriend, honey. Now, to hear Imani and Britton tell the story, he won't shit. To hear Imani tell the story, she was Beyonce and he was Jay-Z. I guess during the Lemonade phase, because the way they was talking, they said that he cheated on her all up and down Xavier. But it don't matter, because she done moved on. She married with 4 kids, and she is living la vida loca. So it is what it is. But it was cool. That's what homecoming is about. You run into the craziest people. You never know who's going to be at homecoming. You run into ex-boyfriends. You run into ex-friends. You run into people that you wish you hadn't lost contact with. Like, that's what it's all about. Then they went down to the French Quarter, and they went to Cafe Du Monde, where they had a wonderful meal. Now, the downside was we saw Dr. Imani having a conversation with her husband. And it just seemed real dry. Like, there was just no emotion. There was no affection. There was just nothing there. And then she finally says to him, well, do you want me to come to Oklahoma to see you? Because I believe Dr. Britton and Contessa said something to her about going through Oklahoma. Like, let's just pop up. Let's go take a trip. Like, I just feel like when you have money, certain things in a long distance relationship shouldn't be that big of an issue. Like hopping on a plane to Oklahoma once every couple of weeks. I mean, you got the money to do it. And I understand you're busy, but like, we find time to do all the stuff we want to do. You know what I mean? Anyway, so she asked him, well, do you want me to come and see you? That should have been an automatic yes. He had to think about it. And then after he thought about it, there was a long pause. And so we saw her have a conversation with Dr. Contessa and Britton, and they asked her point blank. They said, listen, are you good? You can tell us if you're not, but are you good? And she let them know that things aren't as peachy keen as she's trying to make them out to be. But her thing was, but I ain't going to beg nobody to be with me. I'm not going to beg no man for his time. I'm not going to beg nobody to be with me. And I get it to a certain extent, but baby, love is sometimes being vulnerable. And I just feel like Dr. Imani doesn't want to be vulnerable. But what that says to me is that things are already at a place beyond what we kind of see. You know what I mean? Now, back in LA, we see Jasmine and Shanique trying to take Kendra, honey, or the exercise class. And Kendra is like, listen, y'all are on 20. I'm at 1. I need y'all to take baby steps with me. And they're looking at her like, girl, this was the baby step. But it really wasn't. Anyway, Dr. Kendra also is out here going on job interviews and not telling her husband. And she was like, well, if I said something to him, then I would have never made it to the interview because he really doesn't want to see me. He really is not ready for her to go back to work full time. So my thing is, well, if you know he's not ready, if you can't even tell him you're going on the interview, clearly y'all ain't ready for you to move to that next level of y'all actually having to go, like you actually taking the job. And it sounds like they offered her the job. It's just a matter of them hammering out terms and agreements. She said they're drawing up the contracts and they're making a couple of versions of the contract so that, so that she can make a decision or whatever. So that ain't sounding too good, but I don't think that that's a major thing. Now, Shanique's birthday is coming up, and she done put her husband in charge of planning her birthday situation. I can't, y'all. I have come to the conclusion I can't do Shanique and that whining thing that she does with her husband. Like, she talks to him like she's a child waiting for his approval for everything she does and says, and I can't do it. I don't know. It's like, well, I want you to make sure that my birthday is special. And he was like, why I gotta do that? Why am I in charge of your happiness? And I understand what he's saying, because I'm like, why? Why is he in charge of your happiness? Anyway, she did her presentation for him where she was presenting to him why he should let her change careers or whatever. And she goes through her presentation, and he said, listen, I asked you to do this. Well, no, I actually told you to do it because I needed to see how serious you were. Like, I needed to see if this was something you really wanted to do, if this was just a fad. You've shown me that you put in the work. You showed me that you thought this through, and I'm here for it. I support it 100%. She was like, all I'm asking is for a year. Give me a year to try to build up some clientele so that I can be making the money and put us back where we need to be. So he's down for it, child. Listen. If you like it, I love it. But I ain't never going to ask no. Let me stop. If you like it, I love it. I just don't feel like her asking permission was necessarily the whatever. Y'all know what I did not know? I did not know that Contessa was Miss Xavier. Go on, Miss Dr. Contessa. Maybe I heard that. But no, I don't think I knew that before. I don't think I'd ever heard that. But you go on, girl. I ain't mad at you. And she got to ride in her own special car, honey, because she is the former Miss Xavier, honey. But anyway, back to LA. I'm sorry, just had the brain fart. Had to go back to New Orleans for a second. So, Dr. Kendra and Leah, she brought her daughter to Dr. Kendra so that they could she could have that conversation. She said her daughter's 15, and we learned a little bit about her story. She has 3 kids. Her 2 youngest kids, I guess, about her husband. Her oldest daughter she had when she was 18. She said she got pregnant when she was 18, had the baby when she was 19. She was a struggling single mom, and she said, my daughter's 15 now, and she's 15 going on 35, but I'm gonna take her to Dr. Kendra because. And she was like, well, she ain't having sex yet. And I was just like, girl, you don't know she having sex yet. You just think she's not having sex. I don't know if she having sex or not. But, she was just saying that she trusts Dr. Kendra to have the conversation that needs to be had. And they had they did the same thing when Dr. Simone was talking to Dr. Heavenly's daughter. And, again, at 15, the misconception is that you don't start going to the gynecologist till you start having sex, child. And that's, we know that that's not the case. And that it is important for kids to start early, young ladies to start early, just understanding their body and the changes that are going on with their body. And so that was a good moment. And we got to know a little bit more about Leia. And she was just saying that she just does not want her daughter to go through what she went through, And if you read between the lines, basically, she was like, I don't want my daughter to become a teen mom. She was like, I was barely out of high school, didn't know what I was doing, and I just don't want that for her. So you heard, which you heard that part of it, like, listen, I don't want that struggle for her, So that was a moment. Anyway, so Dr. Imani has a book coming up. Well, the book is out now, but this was when she was, and she talked about her struggle and her journey with mental illness. She said, she's dealt with depression. She said people see the polish, the outside, the person that she presents to the world. But she said, my depression has gotten so bad that I have forgotten to eat for weeks at a time, and I lose 10 pounds. When I finally come out of my fog, I've lost 10 pounds because I didn't eat. And so she talked about dealing with it, and then even with her patients, dealing with it with her patients, and how they say, hey, that's what white people deal with. Like, black people don't have those problems. Like, we don't deal with that. And we've all heard it or said it when it comes to mental health. And so You know, if you haven't read her book, go on and get the book so you can read her story and her journey and how we deal with mental health in the Black community. And so we saw her taking the pictures for the photo, you know, her author pictures for the photo. We saw her talking to her editor. And so again, kudos to Dr. Amani. Like I said, I know the book is already out. But kudos to her, and I hope that the book did well and you're well on your way to writing your second book, Hanty. So, last but not least, everybody's back, and we are getting ready for Shanique's birthday party. They're going to have it on this dude ranch, honey. It's like a luxury upscale dude ranch, basically, is what it is. And when Dr. Britton gets to Dr. Amani's house to, you know, they get ready to head out to the party, Dr. Amani is like, yeah, I ain't with it. And Britton was like, what's going on? She was like, you know, like, are you sick? Are you hurt? Like, what's going on? And she opens up to talk, and she said, oh, no, let me rewind. That's the end. I missed a couple of things. My bad. Trying to rush, y'all. We see Dr. Britton take her daughter out. And, you know, she's been talking about how her daughter's a little sassy and doing a little much. And so I think it was a moment. It was a good conversation with them. It was some good mommy-daughter time. And I think she found a nice way of letting her daughter know, look, I've been real nice to you, little girl. But please know that if we keep going the way we're going, things going to have to change. She was like, you know, how do you think I got punished when I was your age? And she was like, take away your cell phone. She was like, girl, we didn't have no phones, okay? And she said, my mom would do this. My mom would throw a shoe at my head. My mom would yell at me. And then I'd be punished. And she had to even explain to her daughter what punishment meant, which means that she ain't never been punished. That's a problem. Britton, I'm sorry. I understand you don't want to be abusive and all of that, but that's a problem. Your child should already know what that word means, to be grounded or to be punished. She should know what it means to lose a privilege. Maybe she does understand what it means, but it was just never presented that same way. But neither here nor there. So, then we see Dr. Amani and Jasmine going out for ice cream. And I'm sure that this was a moment, an attempt for them to try to build a relationship and get to know each other better and everything. Listen, I am not a doctor. I didn't go to nobody's medical school. This is totally my opinion and my opinion only. I think Jasmine might have some sort of eating disorder. Like, there is something wrong. They went to the ice cream store. She pulled out her own sample cup. She didn't even use their sample cup. She pulled out her own sample cup that she said she orders on Amazon and got them to fill up that much ice cream, and that was all she was eating. Then she pulls out a blood sugar thing like that diabetics use so that she can see if her body is in fat burning mode. And she said she checked it. She had already checked it 3 times that day to check her numbers. That's not healthy. Like, I'm all about losing weight. I probably should be more diligent, but bitch, she too diligent. Like, that's not healthy. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care how diligent you are. That's not healthy. I have one of my really good friends. Her brother is a professional bodybuilder. He competes and all of that. And he ain't even that diligent. Like, he diligent. You know what I'm saying? Like, he brings his own food. He cooks his own food when we go out to eat. Like, you know, he's very, very diligent about his diet, but he ain't even that obsessive, okay? So I'm just like, checking your blood sugar to see if your body is in fat burning mode. I've never even heard of no shit like that. But Jasmine and Amani actually have a conversation, and Amani actually starts to open up to Jasmine about what's going on between her and Phil. And I thought that that was very interesting, and I also felt like that showed that Amani is building trust with Jasmine, that they are building a friendship. You know, what I hope though is that Jasmine doesn't take it and then run off and tell Shanique and they shade her about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for her to allow herself to be vulnerable enough to open up to you, it says to me that there needs to be, that there should be some compassion, and I hope she does not ruin their budding relationship with some bullshit, you know. Anyway, now we get to the last part. See, I had kind of got ahead of myself. Last but not least, we're getting ready for Shanique's party. And like I said, Britton goes over to Dr. Amani's house to pick her up. And Amani ain't feeling it. And Amani lets her know, she's like, listen, I've been talking to Phil, and this ain't working for me, and I'm not gonna beg anybody to spend time with me. I'm not gonna beg nobody to be my friend. I'm not gonna beg you, you my husband. I shouldn't have to beg you to spend time with me. That should be something you want to do. And she said, and so actually it was my idea, and I brought up the idea of divorce, and that's where they left it. I said, oh, like I knew things were worse than where I feel like Dr. Amani was kind of letting on at first, but I didn't realize they were that bad, that you would speak the word, right? So anyway, that was the episode. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.